everything is exploding. People, spaceships, the planet. And of course, trying to save all of them is a futile endeavour, but I believe there's going to be some that attempt it at least. And with others laying down their lives, becoming the martyr for the cause of rebuilding the entire world. Others are going to have to fight diligently, tenfold. Good thing we're seeing Takasugi and the others, because they might just be able to accomplish it. But of course, we've only like 5 minutes left until the big shot. Are they able to redirect all of that energy, put it somewhere else? At least stop the planet from being completely bombarded. Let's just gloss over the fact and ignore that Utsuro is destroying the planet from the inside. Let's see some Gintama. Cutting away to see other characters. I'd see his beloved wife before the war went down, before his vendetta against the universe. Well, that is a promise that he was able to keep true. So much so much happening all across the universe. Various races, planets, wars. I see we've got a more complicated story and everything going on. I see. What a bastard. So the origin of his willingness to sacrifice anything for his plans. So how many people throughout these kind of histories actually confront the things they have done, actually think about them? How many people just carry on through just taking what they can? Screw everyone in the way. See, usually when we have these moments where we're meant to feel somewhat sympathetic for the character, you get another side to them, see why they fight, the reasons behind it and everything. And yet this one's done a little differently, because it's not held off until the 11th hour. We've known about why he's so gung-ho with it all. We know that it was revenge for taking her and the kid away from him. But now we see more of what led up to it. Him as a character may not be one that could really be all too redeemed. But are we going to be able to go back to the happy times back in the odd jobs by the end of this? Not that there's much of a little office to go back to at the minute. And then crash, bang! Here comes the cavalry. Not a force you want to come up against. Good shot. The hibernation mode. Well, things are looking up. They've actually managed to create a lot of havoc. And now you can see on the monitor the folly of your hubris. It's just... Where are those cameras pointed at? They're not covering a lot. You're not going to be a lot of security. Good shot. Even if it did just hit the locket. They're all with you. All by your side. I mean, no wonder they can fight with such a vengeance. Sometimes at the end of this blood-soaked rainbow, there's not going to be quite the pot of gold. Using the blast there to shoot himself back over so he's not falling. Interesting method. Oh. And now she's fallen. But they just allowed him to make a bigger hole there by forcing him to slash down the middle of that big column. Is anyone going to be able to make it off of this barge? Then they wouldn't be hard pressed to respond in kind. But really, it's their fighting spirit. Have they got anything to keeping hold on? Wait, that was... I can't remember her name. Her hat. That's it. Considering she took that quite head-on and launched into the ceiling, other characters you'd be kind of worried for, but hopefully, because she is, well, Yato. I've not seen a light blade used in that manner before, separating it out into projectiles. I still can't get over this Elizabeth of the Weeks of Eyes. The fact that it's like Dragonia. Doesn't provide for a lot of protection. Is willing to do anything for just for that last hurrah, no matter what it is. Well, on this path, is there going to be the peace that is so requested, so required? Where did those explosions come from? Ah. A very pissed off Katsura there, especially after what they'd done to Elizabeth. And the same thing for Sakamoto and Mitsu. Yeah, since this prince is fighting to regain, well, to pay back the universe for taking stuff away from him, I expect he's also willing to take on those who are also fighting for those that are being attacked and lost. The slow fall. Really? It's always in, like, cutscenes and the like, the accuracy goes to shit. Got one blade away from him. See, one clipped the leg, the other the shoulder. Who was it that managed to hold her, stop her from falling? Ah. I see that little ship was a little more sturdy than I had given it. I mean, couldn't you just say, rescuing a friend. They have to go into ideals here. I mean, they are willing to... Oh, he actually made it out. So we only lost the, Batao. It seems the last contingents of the fighting force aboard this big-ass ship thing has got a dilemma on its hands. Surrounded on all fronts. Fell horribly. Fell horribly. The fact that he has such a presence. Oh. Unfortunately, they've got more of a role in this to play. I mean, yeah, if they were to lose him now, what if they needed his stratagem and plans before? That is a very low effort gun drawn there. I only just noticed. Use him as another arm in his plans. This place is crumbling. It's falling apart. There's not much left holding it all together. But there's a hell of a lot of energy still stored up. I see. One do or die push. The fact that we're seeing it from these different sides, where we can say that Shinsuke is a hero of the hour. Wow, the fighting's a lot more intense now compared to the fight between the prince and those two. That sword isn't going to last all too much longer. Really, Katsura? Throwing it away like that? Even in the midst of getting wounded like that. Only a light grazing, though. Stole one of Katsura's bombs while he was at it. All too greedy. Oh, fuck. And then there, as the dust settles, who should stand but... Huh? In a moment of weakness? Is everything that's happened just too much for him, or was there something else affecting his vision and like, above and beyond the significant wounds sustained? Ah, so you didn't see him walking away with the... Ah, they're... They declared him deceased far too early. Unless it's just like, Bonsai. Even in death, he doesn't know when to sit still. But we can't... If this is trying to line it up saying he's already mortally wounded by... And all of this fighting is just the last hurrah, then we're not going to get the battle we were deserved and promised. Right then, giving him hope, a reason to continue, that resolve, of course they'd be there. Well, he's harmless now. No. I was kind of expecting Gintama to drag out a few more times, just to make it a joke, but I guess... the plight of Shisuke there, not something that can take too lightly. And seeing this little clip show ending over the past few episodes, seeing the events and everything that we've experienced and gone through, while also actually seeming like it's just another day they're sat watching TV. But the hour is getting late. Must mean we're getting into something that we can't turn away from. But if you think about it, the ebb and flow of all of this, the fact that the prince is behind so many atrocities and destructions and takeovers, saw it preliminary as a reason for his vengeance, for taking away those that he held dear. But as discussed, maybe it's just him running from the truth, running from himself. But of course now we've gotten to the point where they've taken the bridge, they've taken command, they've gotten the ship. Both forces are dwindling. Of course, one is looking slightly better than the other, especially since the prince is down. He's the only one really commanding the lot of them. And many times we've seen how many bodies do you have to trample on for your ideals, for your dreams. Which, considering the amount of people fallen, kind of apt. But at the same time, unlike some characters in power, some people who can just throw people into the grinder for their master plan, when it then cuts back to the others, those that he doesn't quite want to leave behind. I'm pretty sure by the end of this, though, we will get a rundown of everyone that we've lost along the way, everyone that took part in this glorious, not so glorious battle. We saw from the start that everyone was willing to fight with everything that they had to protect the town where they all live, and the show. If it was a half-assed battle, then as an ending kind of climactic scene, then I don't think anyone would care. It's almost as if they've been attempted to be cancelled so many times. But considering we've taken down the prince, are we going to be heading back to the surface of the planet soon? Seeing the destruction there? What can be done about it? You still need to wrap up everything that's going on up in space, but for usual storytelling, if it's all happening simultaneously, I'm guessing we'll get little bits of each and then the conclusion, wrapping up nicely. But since the prince and Prince Ensho has fallen, are the rest of the troops going to lay down their arms now? Are they going to admit defeat? It's going to be interesting to find out. As always, I'm hesitant to see more, just because, we've seen everyone that we've come across so far potentially be in mortal peril. So really, if you've enjoyed this one, let me know. There's some good scenes, it's Gintama OST, it's always going to have a certain air to it. If you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. But get yourself some rest, so I can see you in the next one. We can all get mad at some point, but really, it's how we deal with it that really makes our character. And somehow, I don't believe most of us will go on a planet-destroying crusade across the galaxy. At least not yet. But if you want to be one of the reasons that may cause it, consider joining onto my Patreon and helping out support the channel, because if I lose any of you, what I have here will really shrink by a magnitude. So, I really do need to thank Electric Ant, Noku, Raywin, Kite, Sal, Arthea, Dark Shadow 7899, Shiwan, Mats, Gurley, Cardboard, Croyville, Mega42 and everyone else. It's not a joke at all to say you have helped me get where I am now.